Now, everyone, it's time to spread a bit of movie cheer.
Movies, pretty movies. Ha 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 ha. Welcome to the Movie Cheer Podcast, the show for movie fans. And welcome to the Halloween special 2024. Ha 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 ha. I am not Mr. Movie Cheer. I am back again. I am the evil. I am the ghoulish Mean Cheer. And as always, before I host the Halloween special, I need to have my elixir for my podcast voice. So I've got my elixir right here. And this is an elixir, not an Alexa. Here it is. It's not blood. It's not Vimto. It's a podcast elixir. Let's see what it does. There we go. The podcast elixir worked. Welcome all. I am your host. As I said, I am the Ghoulish Mean Cheer, not to be confused with Mr. Movie Cheer. And this is the Halloween special, as I said, 2024. We do these every year. And on this episode today's headline topic will be discussing Halloween movies. And it'll be an epic Halloween movie night. I'm going to look at 4 movies for today's headline topic. I can't wait to do that. It's going to be great. But before we get to today's headline topic, Movie Cheer like to start the show off with a segment called What's Been on the Screen. Ooh, what's been on the screen? The screen. What's been on the screen? What's been on the screen? What have I been watching over this past couple of weeks? Well, first of all, ladies and gents, I want to get to Joker 2. Is it Foil or Do? I can't pronounce that one. I probably butchered the pronunciation, or maybe I've got it spot on. Joker 2. I watched this at the cinemas a few weeks back, and I thought, let's give my verdict on it. I want to just start off with this. I was not a super huge fan of the first Joker movie. I thought it was an okay movie, but I felt my opinions of that first movie was like it started to get good. And as soon as it started to heat up the movie, it finished. And I felt like that's why I felt with the first one. I felt like it was just kind of just starting to start up the movie and then it finished. Not that it was a short movie, it just felt like it was starting to go somewhere and then it kind of just abruptly ended for me. So I wasn't a big fan, and I know a lot of people really enjoy that movie, and I just never had that same feel for that movie as a lot of other people did. So when I heard about the sequel, I was like, I just don't really fancy it. I don't really fancy seeing it. Maybe I'll watch it when it comes out at home as a home release. And a good friend of mine, offered me to come to cinema with him, so I decided to leave Movie Cheer Town, and Ghoulish Mean Cheer does still get invites. Not just Mr. Movie Cheer, Mr. Movie Cheer and myself, we both get invites to the cinema. I went to a cinema to watch Joker 2, and like I said, I had no expectation for the movie. And going into it, I thought, first of all, when I heard about this movie, the fact that it's going to be a sequel to the first one, okay? It's going to be a musical, and it's going to feature Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. And I'm like, I am not against musicals. I actually enjoy musicals, but because I wasn't keen on the first one, and the fact they were just doing a complete 180 and doing something completely different, it just felt really out of place, and I just didn't really fancy it. So went to the cinema, watched it, didn't go out having expectations, and if I'm being really honest, I enjoyed it more than the first one. And I've heard a lot of criticisms about this movie, a lot of people, and I think the criticisms, quite rightfully, the criticisms about this movie are, it is so much different. It's just night and day, completely different from the first movie. The first movie was not a musical. And for me, it's got the same tone, but then it's a natural musical. And it's just to clarify, if you're not seen this yet, they're all like, musical numbers, the songs, real songs. They're not like songs that they've made for this movie. As far as I'm aware, unless there's any thrown in there I didn't recognise, but they're all like famous songs or well-known songs that Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga are singing. But I thought it was actually a really good film, and I think the criticism against it are... I think they're fair, to be honest with you. I think the criticisms are fair because, first of all, there's a £200 million budget on this movie. People probably didn't expect it to be what it was. They probably wanted to see a genuine sequel to the first movie without it having a musical element into it. So I can understand that criticism to the movie. And I think like the ending, I know that's got a bit of criticism, so spoilers for this movie ahead if you've not seen it, ladies and gents. Spoilers ahead. So Joker ends up dying in the end, and he basically renounces himself as Joker later on in the court battle scenes. And I know there's been talk about that being a link to Heath Ledger's Joker of The Dark Knight. I personally just don't see it. I don't think that is, for me, I don't link it to that. I feel like that's a totally different, another Elseworlds universe Joker story. But I enjoyed it more than the first one, and I enjoyed the musical aspect. I thought it really added to it, but like I said, I can understand why people do not like this. I think Lady Gaga... I wouldn't say I'm a big Lady Gaga fan. I wouldn't say I was ever a big fan of her music, but I enjoyed her in this. And I know she's done films before. She was in that... What was the remake she was in a few years ago? The one about the musicians. I can't remember what it's called, but I know she was like... That was a highly acclaimed movie. I don't know if it won like awards, but I think it with Bradley Cooper. You'll know the one. Put it in the comments if you know. But yeah, I thought she was really good. I actually enjoyed her interpretation of Harley Quinn more than Margot Robbie's version, if I'm being honest. I thought it was a better version. I've never been a big Margot Robbie fan. I enjoyed this. It was a completely different version, though. It's like it would be very hard to put this version of Harley Quinn in with like a bunch of other comic book characters, or if you put her in the Suicide Squad. It's completely different, a different feel of movie. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a really well-made movie. And I feel like it's one of those where you really have to detach it from the first one. And that is hard to do when it is a sequel. But I think you do need to take it for its own merit and what it is. And I think if you do that and you go in and just don't have the expectation that it's going to be exact same type of movie as the first movie. Now, it is tonally wise, but apart from that, everything else is completely different. So if you go in with that sort of mindset, you'll enjoy it, I think. And if you like musicals. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I'm kind of glad, though, this extended, universe is kind of like dead in the water now, because I do feel like, I think this is going to be a problem with the DCU moving forward. The fact they're going to have Robert Pattinson's Batmans, and then they're going to have another Batman as well. And I feel like there's just too much going on. And I think it works in comics, but in movies, I think it's very confusing to the viewer. It's like, is this character... someone who's not like a dead hardcore comic book movie fan, they're going to be like, okay, why is this Joker not with Robert Pattinson's Batman? I do think it's going to create a bit of confusion with the general viewer moving forward. So I think it's a good idea, the fact that this universe is now kind of like finished and done. But I think the fact that they've got the Robert Pattinson one and the DCU one, I still think that'll create a bit of confusion for fans who are not like hardcore like ourselves. But yeah, good movie. Moving forward, I want to discuss another movie now, and that is, I'll tell you what, this I wore this mask all year long because I am the Ghoulish Mean Cheer, but it is a nightmare for itching your nose. So next up, I watched another movie called A Man Called Otto, and this is a Tom Hanks movie. It came out a couple of years back now, and it went under the radar for me. I heard good things about it, never got around to watching it. Watched it this past week or so, and man, this is an emotional movie. One of Tom Hanks's greatest movies in recent times, in my opinion. So basically, the story of this is not spoilers really, but the story of the movie is Otto, played by Tom Hanks. He's this man. He seems like a bit of a busybody, and these new family move in next door opposite his house, and he's a grumpy. He comes across as this like grumpy old man figure, And then this family are really kind-hearted, and they start leaning on him, asking him to help out around the house, help him with jobs, to lend him ladders, stuff like that. And he kind of comes out with Shelley, starts like babysitting the kids and stuff like that. And then you see like the emotional attachment with the rest of his neighbours to Otto. Like he touches the heart of different people, and he's still got a hard shell. But you see slowly as the movie moves forward, him coming out that shell, and it is a truly, don't want to spoil it really if you've never seen it, but truly one of them emotional movies. I was watching it and I was really hard to fight back the tears on this one. I think it was a very, very well made movie and one of Tom Hanks' best movies in recent times. What I would compare this movie to is this is the movie Up, the Pixar movie Up. And that is a movie I really, really do enjoy. And it's one of, again, a very emotional movie. And for me, I feel like it's kind of a bit of like an animated, it's not like that. So I think it's got that vibe of Up, the story, like the grumpy man, and then someone or a family takes him in and tries to show his heart and stuff. And it's like the story basically is Tom Hanks really got a heart, and then you see in the end what obviously happens. And it is a really well-made story, and it feels like a very real story as well. I think it was a remake of some sort of like a foreign film. I'm not too sure where it originally was. I think it might have been a Swedish movie or something like that, or an Icelandic movie. But yeah, really well-made movie. One I feel like a lot of people probably have missed out of. Maybe they've heard briefly, but they've not managed to check it out. But I would highly recommend this, A Man Called Otto, because it is just, like I said, bear in mind, get the tissues ready because you might need them for this one because it's an emotional ride. But I'm a big Tom Hanks fan. I've enjoyed his movies over the years, and I'd put it up there with it's hard to say on par with a Forrest Gump because that is like top end, isn't it? But it's definitely got that emotional attachment of a movie like a Forrest Gump for me. Probably filmmaking wise, Forrest Gump can't be touched, but it is definitely on the same emotional level in some areas, this movie. So if you're looking for something, you like Tom Hanks movies, A Man Called Otto, well worth checking out, folks. And that's what's been on my screen this past week. Now let's move to today's headline topic.
The Movie Cheer podcast presents the headline topic for the episode.
Remember to spread a bit of
headline topic. Headline topic.
Remember to spread a bit of movie cheer.
So today's headline topic, and it is an epic Halloween movie night for today's Halloween special 2024. That is the topic. So talking about 4 movies, I've got 4 movies here today, and I want to really deep dive into them and discuss why these movies are epic for a Halloween movie night. If you're looking for some movies to watch on Halloween night, what are the movies? These are my choices for Halloween movies, folks. So let's get into it. First of all, we're going to start off with Ghostbusters, The Frozen Empire, the latest Ghostbusters movie that came out this year in 2024. This is a movie that I've seen criticisms online about this movie, but I will say I absolutely enjoyed it. I thought it was great. So I've been doing Movie Cheer's been doing the 31 Days of Horror Movie Challenge, and he's been giving the movies as well to watch as well. I've been watching them, not with him because I don't like Movie Cheer, but I've been watching them on my own just to get the ideas of what these movies are like. But Frozen Empire, another great movie in the Ghostbusters franchise for me. It is superb. I enjoyed Ghostbusters Afterlife. So this is obviously the rebooted new Ghostbusters movie universe, but it's linked to the original 2 movies. So it's not the female Ghostbusters that came out a few years back. That is kind of like not part of this universe. It's the original. It's like the grandchildren of one of the, I forget his name. Oh god, that's going to bug me now. But the grandchildren of one of the Ghostbusters who passed away, and then you got obviously the rest and Dan Aykroyd, Bill Murray, returning the original ones, and Ernie Hudson as well. And basically, this is again, another continuation, but this time it's set in New York City, so it's got that vibe of the original movies. The villain is like this frozen, icy ghost villain this time, so like the world becomes this ice age like place for a part of the movie. Let's get to spoilers. There's going to be some spoilers ahead for this movie, but just in advance, I'll say I really liked it. I think it was just what I liked as well. It's back to that original feel of Ghostbusters, and I am not a hardcore Ghostbusters fan. And I said this to Stuart George in the comment a few days ago on the channel, that I think the reason why I like this movie and the way it's had a lot of criticism, but I didn't criticize it. I think I am not a hardcore Ghostbusters fan. For me, I've always said my Ghostbusters was Men in Black. So for me, Ghostbusters, I've never got that passion. So I think when fans criticize it, it's from fans who are kind of like hardcore Ghostbusters fans who adore that franchise. And if they don't feel like it fits with what the original two movies were, it doesn't work for them. I do not have that attachment, that emotional attachment to them original movies, and I think that is why I enjoy this movie. So basically, the movie is they find like this egg, this like sort of like bronze type egg, and inside it there's this evil spirit, and then the evil spirit is then, comes out of there, and it's like this ice monster, and then they have to get this one of these guys who's this like they call him the fire master, and he's like basically his ancestors always protected the world against this monster, and he can like sort of like use fire. It's the guy from the Eternals movie. I forget his name, but he's like a comedy actor, and he's really funny in this. I said this movie is jam-packed of a cast. It's like an OG. It focuses on the movie a bit with Paul Rudd's family, but then it brings in, it's like an Avengers-like movie of Ghostbusters. So many new recruits in the Ghostbusters ranks, and then you've got the OG Ghostbusters going in there as well, which is really cool. And I think for me, it's a movie for all the family and for all ages of Ghostbusters fans, because it's got a bit of everything in there. I think I like the fact that they're still going back to the original movies with the original cast members like the likes of Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd coming in there, Ernie Hudson as well. And it's nice to see that. It's nice to see that attachment to them previous movies. But I thought it was really good. I like the setting of the movie. I thought the monster was great. I feel like it maybe could have picked up in the end a bit sooner. That would be my only criticism. I feel like it gets to the end battle and it's like kind of like 10 minutes ago, and it's like goes to the last monster, that's it. I feel like they could have maybe brought that ahead a bit earlier and done like do a bit more in that final act. But overall, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a fun movie. I hope they do more. I like the fact they had Slimer in there as well. They had a few callbacks to the original movies with the ghost in the library, which was really cool with Dan Aykroyd's character. I just think it was good. I thought it was an enjoyable movie. I think it's one, again, you can enjoy Halloween. You don't have to take it too seriously. It's Ghostbusters, you know what I mean? If you're taking Ghostbusters too seriously, you need to check on yourself, mate. You need to check on yourself. But yeah, overall, I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it more. I enjoyed Afterlife a lot. The first movie in the new rebooted universe. I think this topped Afterlife for me, personally. I'd have to rewatch them both again. Maybe I feel different after a rewatch, but I enjoyed this a lot. I think it was something new ground with the icy setting, a new type of villain, and the new characters in there I thought were really good as well. So I really enjoyed this. I think there's that comedian, the British comedian, is it James Acaster? He was in this, and I like this role. He's like, I hope they kind of like, a lot of these Ghostbusters they introduce in this movie as well, I hope they kind of grow it forward and just continue what they're building here with this Ghostbusters franchise. I think it's really cool. Next up, we're going to discuss another movie, and it is Goosebumps, the 2015 movie release, the Jack Black Goosebumps movie. Now, this is, again, another one Movie Cheer has been watching on these 31 Days of a Horror Movie Challenge. I watched it as well, first time watch for both of us. And I think it is a fantastic, fun movie. It is. Goosebumps, I, like Movie Cheer, never watched it as a child. I was in Movie Cheer Town. Books were forbidden to the Ghoulish Mean Cheer. They just didn't allow me books. And I can't read that well. It's just forbidden. It's forbidden. If I read words on a book, my brain will turn to fire. It's that serious. So I didn't read Goosebumps, and this is a really good movie. I think, first of all, Jack Black, I love him in a lot of movies, but he steals the show. Jack Black plays R.L. Stine, the author of Goosebumps. So he's like playing a fictionalized version of R.L. Stine in this book. And basically, his daughter, and then the kid next door and his friend basically release the Goosebumps book. So in this story, Jack Black, he has them all locked under key, all the Goosebumps, like the original books. And these books are magical. So basically, they all break free. All the monsters from the original books are all breaking free. And then you've got, they're led by Slappy the Dummy, who also is voiced by Jack Black in this movie. And it's basically then a story. They've got to try and get all the monsters back into the books and stop them and save the town. And it's a really fun story. I think I'd liken this to Jumanji. Very much a Jumanji vibe. Robin Williams is Jumanji. Very much that same feel. And I feel like Jack Black's got that same vibe of a Robin Williams. You know, he's a very fun actor. Very different type of comedy actors. Not to say they are very alike, but very good comedy actors to pair them for their own traits equally. And it has got that vibe of Jumanji, and I really enjoyed it. I was watching this first time watch, and I thought it was great. I really enjoyed it. The ride, the whole movie was just enjoyable. Fun parts, the characters, obviously all the monsters from the Goosebumps books, I wasn't aware of. I didn't know about them, but I still felt interested in them, and I still felt I was like buying into this story. I enjoyed it. Slappy the Dummy, it's just like a mannequin dummy. Is it what they call it's not a mannequin? It's like do you know what they call like the thingy dummies? I can't even think what the word is. You know when you've got someone, a ventriloquist dummy. That's the one. Ventriloquist dummy, Slappy the Dummy. So that was really fun as well, and it kind of made me want to buy the Goosebumps books. If I'm being honest, I was looking then online afterwards, and I was thinking, I quite actually like to read some of these, and they've done re-releases and they've done like new modern stories, which is really cool. And I think if you like, because obviously in the 90s when I was growing up, Goosebumps was massive. I just never got into it. I know they had like the TV show. They had the books. Everything was huge about Goosebumps. I just never got into it at the time. But I think it's nice now that you've got like a new generation. I believe they've got a TV show, a Goosebumps TV show, and they did a sequel movie. The sequel movie didn't have Jack Black involved, though, which I think is a big miss, really. I think he had a small cameo in that movie, but the fact they didn't do a direct sequel to this, it feels like a missed opportunity. I don't know how good this movie did at the box office, but I tell you what, if you like your Jumanjis, that sort of fantasy Halloween movie, not too heavy, this is the one for you. Goosebumps, great story throughout, and just a very fun movie to watch. That is the Goosebumps movie. Now, next we go to another Halloween movie, and we go to a movie that was released in 1988. It is Beetlejuice. Let's rewind here a bit. So Beetlejuice, I watched it growing up once, maybe. Never clicked with me. I just never wasn't keen on that movie. And I've mentioned it on the channel a few times. So a few different people have mentioned, Beetlejuice. Check it out. It's great. Never had that interest to watch it again. It just didn't appeal to me. Obviously directed by Tim Burton. Michael Keaton stars as Beetlejuice, a bio-exorcist. Alec Baldwin and what's her name? I forget the actress's name. Oh, it's going to escape me out of Stuart Little. Basically, you have the Maitlands, this couple who die, and then someone moves into the house. The Dietz family, Winona Ryder is in that family as a young girl, and basically they become ghosts of the house, and they're trying to get rid of the family, and they hire Beetlejuice, but they turn out they don't realize until they hire him that he's just he's a pervert. He's not the best human being or ghost in the universe. So it's a very funny movie. But Beetlejuice, just to rewind it, with the new sequel coming out, I thought, let's give it a go. So Beetlejuice 2 comes out this year. I ended up watching it at the cinema, and before that, I thought, I'm going to watch the original Beetlejuice movie. So I watched the original Beetlejuice movie, give it another go, and I really enjoyed it. And I watched it a couple of times because I got really into it, and I actually really liked it. And I think the one thing, there's the things what I didn't like in originally kind of still were there, but not as bad. But it was the songs and do you know when that scene when they're all like dancing and they're sort of like Beetlejuice, the ghosts are taking over the couples in the dining room when they're having like a meal, they're having all like guests over and they all start singing. That used to make me cringe, and it still does a bit, but I think it's subsided a bit now. And even like the end scene when Winona Ryder's character starts singing, but I do like it now. I do like this movie overall. I think Keaton as Beetlejuice is awesome. It's showtime. He's ace, isn't he? And it's what is so bizarre, a year later, Tim Burton and Michael Keaton do Batman 89. And it's such a different movie. Such a different character as well, and it's weird because like Beetlejuice is kind of very much like a Joker. You could put you could have had. I let me throw something by you now, right? Batman 89. Jack Nicholson's not in it. They have Michael Keaton playing dual roles. He plays the Batman. He plays Bruce Wayne, and he also plays the Joker, which is basically Beetlejuice. You just take Beetlejuice, copy and paste Beetlejuice, put him in Batman 89, and call him the Joker. That is the Joker, isn't it? That could be the Joker. He essentially played the villain of his own movie a year prior. I think it would be quite interesting to see that. Do you like to see him as that? Imagine if he had the dual role, or if he did like a multiverse Elseworlds movie now. Keaton's Batman versus Beetlejuice, aka the Joker. I think it's a great movie, though, Beetlejuice. I really enjoy it. I think it's one you can definitely appreciate even more so around Halloween time. It's got that haunted Halloween supernatural vibe to it. It's not too heavy. It's a comedy. I think it's a fun movie. Keaton makes it for me. The music from Danny Elfman as well is another thing. Straight in when it kicks in the movie, you notice Danny Elfman's music. It's got that Nightmare Before Christmas style vibe, that Addams Family vibe to it. I think it's a cracking movie. I really do like it. I like them sort of like gothic-y vibe of a movie. So Beetlejuice is my third movie on my list of movies to watch on an epic Halloween movie night. Now we go to the final movie of today's headline topic, and today's final choice is, drumroll, Army of Darkness, the third movie in the Evil Dead franchise, directed by Sam Raimi, starring Bruce Campbell as Ash Williams, returning to that role. Again, this is another one, first time watch for me this month. I watched all the Evil Dead trilogy, really enjoyed it, but this one stands out as my favourite. This is set in the Middle Ages, kind of like medieval times. It is very much a horror, comedy, fantasy movie, but I'm putting it in because I feel like it's part of the Evil Dead franchise. You have to classify it as a horror movie. Basically, he gets sent back in time from the second movie, and then he's got to, destroy an Evil Dead army in medieval times, joins up and fights alongside this medieval army, Lord Arthur, and it is an absolutely cracking movie. It's so much fun. The first Evil Dead movie is pure horror, and then as it moves on, Evil Dead 2 is a comedy horror, and then again, Evil Dead Army of Darkness is a pure comedy horror, and I think it's just so much fun watching it. I'm watching it and it's just a barrel of laughs. I enjoyed every bit of it. I think the medieval setting for me really does it as well. I love anything medieval. I think it really just clicks with me in my brain. Something I really enjoy. But Bruce Campbell as Ash Williams is great. It's just like a few one-liners in this. And throughout, I suppose the Evil Dead 2 is very similar. He just throws in like a few one-liners every so often. And he's made for that role. He is absolutely made for that role. Great film, great effects. The practical effects in this are superb. And what's interesting with this movie, my Philip Coghill, Movie Cheer's good buddy Philip Coghill, mentioned this to him. There was 3 different versions. I think it was the US theatrical release, the international, and then there was the director's cut, which is like the longest one. So I ended up watching the director's cut. Philip did say to check out either the international or theatrical. That's the one I ended up watching because it's the only one I had available to me. Watched it, really enjoyed it, but there is 2 endings to this. So there's 2 endings. There's the one where on the extended one, the longer cut, there's where he ends up in he fights the Evil Dead army and then he goes back to the future. Marty, Bruce, you gotta go back to the future. Bruce doesn't go. Ash goes back to the future. Ash, you gotta go back. I'm not doing that again. Ash goes back to the future, and basically then he does it wrong, and he turns up in basically futuristic London that's been destroyed. A London timeline that has been destroyed by the future world. Then there's another ending, which is on the international and the theatrical. So apparently the filmmakers didn't want Sam Raimi's original ending, which was that London ending. So they'd done an S-Mart ending where he's in the shop he works at, and then the Evil Dead arrives again for the ending. And I watched both endings, and I do prefer the S-Mart ending. I think it's better. I think it works with the tone of the movie. It's more funnier. I think it's just an absolutely badass ending. It's so cool. If you've watched the movie before and you've maybe not seen both endings, watch them on YouTube and let me know your thoughts. I think the S-Mart ending is so much better. But really a great movie overall. And I've really enjoyed as well, another one that Philip Coghill mentioned is the TV show Ash vs. the Evil Dead, which I've started watching. I'm only a couple of episodes in, but that is a solid show. It's a continuation of that character in the Evil Dead universe, and it is a great show, great spin-off, and a great sort of sequel to the Evil Dead movies. So, yeah, really enjoyable. These are my 4 movies. So we've had, let's go for it again, Ghostbusters, Frozen Empire. Then we had Goosebumps, Beetlejuice, and last but not least, Army of Darkness. These are my 4 movies for an epic movie night on Halloween. Let me know your thoughts, ladies and gents, anyway. Now let's move on to the next segment of today's show.
Case covers take on other case covers. Can you handle that?
Case cover collision. Case cover collision.
Case cover collision. Each and every episode, I choose a different movie and look at the different case covers for that movie and put them up against each other to find out which one is the winner and which one is the best on Case Cover Collision. Now, this episode, I will be looking at the movie The Terminator, and as it is celebrating its 40th anniversary, happy birthday, The Terminator. Great movie, first of all, I'll just say, I'm a big fan of the movie. I think it's fantastic, and yeah, it is just a super, even to this day, I used to think Terminator 2 was a lot better, but even I can appreciate them both as being epic movies. I really enjoyed Terminator 1. I think it's a great movie. So there's a few new releases, a few new 4K releases in celebration of the new release, the 40th anniversary release. So let's get to, we've got a DVD, 2 Blu-rays, and 2 4Ks to look at. Let's go for it, folks. So first of all, we're going to start off with the DVD case cover of The Terminator. This is, a fairly classic cover. I've actually got this in the movie room here of Arnie, where he's got the gun, he's got the specs on. You can see like the flashing light, the red light. Really cool poster. This, top here, you've got Schwarzenegger in this red, bold font at the top of the screen, and then under that, in a white colour, The Terminator. Really just, nothing flashy, just a very standardised text, but it's really works. I think that, here it's more about the imagery of Arnie as the Terminator, and it looks amazing. He's got his gun, he just looks like an absolute badass here. He plays the villain in this movie to Sarah Connor and Kyle Reese. Just a great look to him. He just looks really just like that menacing figure. I love this cover. I think it's really cool. I think it just works really well for what it is. I think you just know it's what you're going to get here. You're just going to get action. It's action, whatever it's going to be. Great looking cover, DVD. Let's move now to one of the Blu-ray releases. So this is, I've never seen this cover before, so I think it's either, I think it's pretty much, that will be Arnie, won't it? That'll be Arnie here. The Terminator, so in a very different type of text this time, Schwarzenegger in a smaller font at the top of the screen, and then it's like this black background, and then underneath there's like the Terminator arrives, and he's like crouched down, he's about to stand up. You can see inside him, you can see his like robotic body, and he's about to get up and get ready to walk upon Earth, trying to find Sarah Connor, trying to find her to kill her. And basically, you got the Terminator in this I think this is more of the normal Terminator font now. Bit smaller, bit underneath Schwarzenegger, but it's a bit bigger than that. In this white silvery font, underneath that it says a James Cameron film, and then you've got the Terminator look under there. Yeah, I like this cover. I think it's okay. It's somewhat different. It works well. I like the colours they've used. It's not too much. It's minimal, but it works for this movie. Let's look at this one now. Wow, this is night and day to the last cover though. So maybe you're gonna wonder where I'm going with this. So this is another Blu-ray cover, and this one is a different look now. So Arnie, if you're watching me on screen, he's got like 2 guns and he's holding them like this, and he just looks like he's looking into the camera. It's a close-up shot of Arnie, like a mid shot, but he's taking up all the room here. It's very much going with that same theme of colours, in like a blue sort of like grey colour. He's got these, but here you see the only bit of colour here is red thrown in there, like as a variation of colour. You see the red eye through the sunglasses. He's looking straight into the camera. Underneath that, on his chest, it's like Schwarzenegger, and then the Terminator in a red colour, the Terminator font in this red colour. Again, different style of font again, but I think it really works here with that red colour. The red works really well. I think I would have preferred more of that font from the previous cover, but I think it still works. I think it works well. Underneath that, it's a James Cameron movie. This is a solid looking cover. It looks amazing. What I would only say though is, like, does he actually do that in the movie with the 2 guns? Maybe he does. Maybe like in the bar scene or something like that. I like it though. I do like it. It's a good cover. Next up, we have the standard 4K release of the 40th anniversary release of the Terminator. And this is a new type of cover here. It's a close-up shot of Arnie's face. In very much there's no... It's like an orangey sort of like gradient to this. Like, very much just a standard shot. You can see here on his head, his name in a red font. Then like the classic Terminator font in this white large font on his head as well, top of the screen. He's got the glasses on again, but this time you can see in the shot, like they put a shot within a shot. So within the glasses, you can see in one, in the right-hand frame, you see Sarah Connor and Kyle Reese. In the left-hand one, you can see all like these, like the numbers, the coding, sort of like for his Terminator mind. I like this, but it is very simple, this 4K cover. I think it's a bit too simple, if I'm being honest. You know it's Arnie, but I don't feel like it doesn't feel like Terminator. It just feels a very generic movie. It doesn't work for me as much, if I'm being honest, this cover. It doesn't work for me. I think the colour scheme's fine, but it's too plain, too simplified. For a 4K 40th anniversary release, it should have been something a lot better for the standard 4K. Let's move now to the final release, which is the Steelbook. 40th anniversary 4K Steelbook. This is actually sold out on Amazon. I don't know where everywhere else if it was Amazon exclusive, but it's sold out on Amazon now. So if you want it, good luck. Good luck getting it at a decent price. This is much more in mind with what I think works compared to the other one. It is, the skeleton body of Arnie's character here, side-on view, close-up shot, looking side on, the eyes, the laser eyes, you can see like glowing up. Then it's like a mid-shot within the neck of the Terminator, and you see Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor running as like they're running away from the Terminator. It's probably after the bar scene, potentially this. Then it's a white background, or a white creamy background. Underneath, they went for a very different direction with the title in here. So Schwarzenegger and the Terminator in a very small text under the chin of the Terminator. Schwarzenegger is in red, and the Terminator is in a black font. And then around like the surround of the Terminator in the bottom bit, there's like fire and flames, obviously go into the ending moments of that movie. So this is a really good cover. I think it works really well in comparison to that last cover. I think it's more in line with what Terminator is, and I think it works. It's like they've actually watched the movie and put a bit of effort in with this particular cover. I like it a lot better than the standard 4K. But which one wins through for me? Ooh, this is hard, but I think I'm going to have to go with that new 4K Steelbook, which is sold out. I think it is a really great cover. I like the classic pose of the DVD. I think it's a great looking cover. But I love that Terminator-esque skeleton. I think it really is something different they've tried with the cover of the artwork here. And I think it really works well for that sort of release. And I think it's a spectacular looking release as well. So I'm going to win. The 4K Steelbook is the winner of this edition of Case Cover Collision. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this case cover? Let me know. Now let's move on to the next segment of today's show.
The Amazon Top 10 is approaching. Prepare yourself. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The Amazon Top 10 has arrived.
The Amazon Top 10. Each and every episode I give you the Amazon Top 10, the best sellers list for Amazon.co.uk for DVDs, Blu-rays and 4K sales. Let's look at the Amazon Top 10 for this episode. First of all, we have, starting at number 10, we have Venom, The Last Dance on 4K. At number 9, we have, I'm probably going to butcher this, Dai Gothic Japanese Ghost Stories on Blu-ray. Never heard of that. No idea what that is. At number 8, we have the movie Trap on Blu-ray. Really enjoyable movie. I enjoyed that. At number 7, we have Beetlejuice 2, Beetlejuice. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It wasn't as good as the original, but it's worth a watch. At number 6, we have Twisters on DVD. Really enjoy that movie. Solid movie. At number 5, we have Ghostbusters Frozen Empire at number 5 on DVD. At number 4, we have Marvel's Deadpool and Wolverine on Blu-ray at number 4. At number 3, we have the DVD version of Deadpool and Wolverine. Number 2, great movie that as well. Great movie. At number 2, we have Despicable Me 4 on DVD. Not yet watched that, but I do like the rest of the movies. And at number 1, we have Doctor Who, The Collection, Season 25 on Blu-ray. That's the Amazon Top 10 for this week. Let's move on to the final segment of today's show. And the final segment is Not So Worthy Blockbuster Housekeeping. This is the part of the show where I like to tidy things up, have a little end chit-chat, and talk about what's going on in Movie Cheer Town and what's going on with the channel. First of all, let's get to it. The 31 Days of Horror Movie Challenge. As of filming this, that challenge is still going on. I have had the list that Movie Cheer has been going through. He's been watching them, sending them to me, and I've been watching them as well. I've really enjoyed this challenge so far. It's been great to see a few new people commenting who probably haven't watched the channel before, who are more horror fans. And if I'm being honest, it's moving forward. I think it might be something I do. Movie Cheer said this, you might want to do like a themed month. I think it's a really cool idea to do like action months. Because it's been really fun just exploring all different movies I've never seen before. So it's been really fun to do that and to do the updates as well. So really fun challenge. I will say as well, the latest video on the channel this past week, Movie Cheer did a video called the Horror All-Nighter, and it was a tag video in the community. And he was tagged by Ash from Popcorn and Horror, who's a top guy. And Ash has got a great channel. He tagged him, Movie Cheer, Mr. Movie Cheer, in the video. And he did the video for him, and this was originally a topic started by Sammy G's World of Cinema, another great guy, Sammy G. Both Ash and Sammy G were involved in the episode for Movie Cheer Fest 2 this year, the other month, and it was great to have them involved in that, and it was great to be invited on that. So Movie Cheer really enjoyed that, and he really appreciated that. Obviously, me as Ghoulish Mean Cheer, I couldn't care less. But yes, it was great to see, and again, it's nice to see all the different people who've shared their thoughts on that topic and all the horror related videos on the channel over October. But I do. Just to end the video here today, really, I am a big fan of Halloween. Something that over the years, more and more, I've grown to really enjoy. I'm not a big Christmas fan. Obviously, you can see why I wear a mask. I really enjoy Halloween. It's something I really enjoy, and I've enjoyed doing the movie challenge as well. Watching different Halloween movies, having new experiences with movies I wouldn't have really watched before. Some of them were quite scary. We can both agree, me and Movie Cheer, Hellraiser is a no-go area for us both. But yeah, really enjoyable. But that's what's been going on in Movie Cheer Town, folks. And that's it for another episode. And that's it for the Halloween special 2024 for the epic Halloween movie night. If you enjoyed this episode today, please do give it a like and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below if you did enjoy it. If you're listening to a podcast app of your choice, please do subscribe to the app as well and leave a review. All reviews will be read out. It's been a great show. Epic movie night for Halloween. Let me know your thoughts on all the movies discussed in today's episode. Let me know some of your choices as well for your epic Halloween movie night. What movies will you be watching on Halloween? This episode will be coming out shortly before Halloween as well, so hopefully you can enjoy this episode and then, enjoy Halloween night as well. But remember, thank you very much for watching this episode, ladies and gents. Remember to spread a bit of mean cheer. And as always, I will see you next time.